Okay, so there's a couple questions some folks still have around some of the problems on the exam. So the two in particular, I'm doing a quick video here to kind of help kind of guide you and put you in the right direction of how we resolve this. Okay, so the first one is this problem 5. All right, so we have a survey results, survey of 40 college students with two questions. One is what is your gender? The other one is what is your major? And then for those two questions, we have two sets of answers. So we have accounting, marketing, computer information systems for majors, and male and female for gender. All right. And then we have a result set. So the result set is actually where it's folded basically to fit it on the page. The way you would read this is that the gender and the major are tied together. All right, so the first response is going to be MA, then MC, MC, FM, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the data part of it. So part of what we're going to have to do is unwind each of these lines into like one set. So basically, we'll have you know this gender line appended to this gender line, appended to this gender line, appended to this gender line, and the same thing with major. All right, and so we'll end up with this two strings of responses. All right, and then what we're asking to do is tally the data into a contingency table, and then construct the contingency table based on the percentages. All right, so the best way to do this, actually, we can use Jump, the Jump software to do this for us. Okay, we can do it and it's actually pretty straightforward. So let's take a look at Jump. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, I'm going to create a new data table. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this data here and plop it into a data table. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. If I say new data table, what we'll see is we can either just enter the data here, column 1, column 2, or we can we can say open, we can actually create we can actually import things from Excel and from other databases and stuff. For our purposes, the simplest, most straightforward thing to do is simply to put this into we'll just enter it directly, create a data table, and then do an analysis on it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a piece of this. We'll start it off with this, all right? So what I want to do is I want let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a gender for my first column. And so we'll call it gender. And the second one, I'm going to call it major. All right, so I've got these two, so I've created these two columns. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to enter the data, and we'll do it vertically. There are a couple different ways we can do it. We're going to do this vertically. So we're going to create a column of data. We're going to take our responses, our gender responses, and we're going to create a column of data. So I'm going to do, we'll do 5 of them just to kind of get going. All right. Let's see, M, F, and M. All right, so that's going to be our gender. And then for our majors, what we're going to do is we'll do the first 5 of those, which is going to be A, C, C, M, A. All right, now what you'll end up doing at the end is we will actually just you need to do all 40 of them, right? But I'm just going to do the first 5 and kind of do a quick demonstration of this. All right, so we have this. So we have our so step 1 is we enter our data into our data table. All right, and then we'll do analysis against that data. All right, so the way we do this is we're going to come up here, we're going to click Analyze, and we're going to use the fit Y by X. So let's take a look at that. When I click that, what it will show us is it'll show us basically what this is. This is going to give us build a model or show us a model of the relationship between the two variables. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the gender. Let's make the gender the X. All right. And what I'll do is I'll make the major the Y. All right. And then all we do is we will click OK. All right. So you'll see what it will do is it gives us a couple different bits of information here. All right. So one is it'll give us a mosaic plot of the different majors, A, C, and M, like plotted against our A, C, and M versus our gender, male, female. Okay, so but we're not worried about the mosaic plot. What we're interested in is the contingency table, which is the second one, which is what we're looking to calculate. All right, so what JMP will do for us is if we enter the data and we run an X by Y plot, it will build our contingency table with all of the values. All right, so what will happen is if you do this with all 40, what you will see is you'll see male, female, ABC. All right. All right, so that's how we deal with number 5. So let's look at number 6. So number 6 is similar, but it's different. All right. So in this case we get raw data, so we can actually use jump to put all the data in and then run it through the analysis. All right. With the next problem, actually, what we already get the the contingency table. All right. So they've already said this analysis of mapping the XY values, successful, not successful, to film and video, games, music, technology, has already been done. All right. And the problem is, Jump doesn't really have a means of being able to, entering this and being able to process it. All right. So we can use we just simply take another approach. Right? So what we're going to do is, for this case, what we can do is we can use Excel. And what we will do in Excel, let me get this up here. All right. This is what I did was I took that, we took our chart here and I just put it into an Excel spreadsheet. All right, so I put film, video. So this, as you can see, this is the all the numbers, or these are all the categories. All right, and then what I did, but for each one, I actually created 3 calculations below. One for row, one for column, one for total. And I did this across the board, row, column, total, row, column, total. And the same thing for, for over here as well, okay? So what we need to do is, to do this calculation, what we'll do is we'll do the row. So when we when we calculate the row percentage, the way we'll do that is we will divide. Let's see, right here, okay. What we're doing is we will divide our total, right, which is up here, which is in D4, and we will divide it by the total, which is H4. All right, and the result we'll get is 37.15. And then for the column, what we will do is we will take the same number, so we will take D4, and we will divide it by D24. So D24 is the total of all the columns. All right, that gives us our column calculation. And then for the total, what we will do is we will divide our number, or our D4, we will divide it by the total, which is the 163.88, which will give us, you see H24, which will give us our calculation. So we've done the calculation. And what you need to do is simply do that calculation for each one of these. All right, so we've got one for film and video, one for games, one for music, one for technology, both for successful and for unsuccessful. And then in the far column, what you can do is you can sum these two together. All right, so this is going to be this plus this, which will give us 100%. This plus this will give us 73%, so on and so forth. All right. So that will do. So that's how we handle our the development, as we're asking for this problem, around the contingency tables based on the total percentage, row percentages, and column percentages. All right. And hopefully that will put everybody on the right track. If there's any further questions, send me an email. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. All right. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.